Test. Waiting for a few people to tune in. I'll be covering the market in a few minutes. This is a spontaneous live stream. And yeah, hopefully clear the air on what's happening with the cryptocurrency market. Already see one person. Make sure you leave a like. Give me some sign of life that you're seeing and hear me properly. And yeah, let's get this ball rolling as soon as a few people have joined. Do let me know how you're weathering this dip. If you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling comfortable, you're not worried at all, just definitely let me know how you're doing wherever you're tuning in from. Unfortunately, I cannot let some music be playing in the background, otherwise this stream is going to be taken offline. Maybe do let me know if you'd like some music at some point, and then yeah. Fame Media, hello there. We'll be looking at the charts pretty soon. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're managing the current market situation pretty well. Let me share the charts and get everything sorted out. So we'll be starting in a few minutes. The market's looking at pretty dire at the moment, but I don't think the end is near. This is just a bit of a correction after the correction, a dip after the dip, a dippy dip. So yeah. Fame Media, seriously depressed right now. It's crazy. Well, hopefully you can get maybe a little bit of relief during this stream, as I'm still waiting for more people to enter, and hopefully, yeah. I'm down with about 75k USD on your ETH. What was your buying price, Fame Media? What was your average buying price? And 75k, that definitely sucks. I hope you're actually bought way below the current price. What's like your average buying price for ETH? When do you start accumulating ETH? If you start accumulating at 2k, then definitely that's up quite a bit. But if you're already up like quite a lot of money, then hopefully this dip is not going to be too bad. I mean, it definitely sucks if you're like new to the space, not really sure how everything is going to evolve. But if you know or you understand the fundamentals behind Ethereum, then in my opinion, delete all your cryptocurrency apps, stay away from crypto for a few days. But I wouldn't react emotionally based on the current movement of the markets. All right, let's check how many people have already tuned in. Definitely let me know if you've tuned in and what your feelings are about the market is at the moment. 9 concurrent viewers. Awesome. So letting a few more people tune in before I actually start this live stream. This is going to be a bit of a spontaneous live stream, looking at what the targets are for the cryptocurrency market as a whole, looking at different assets, BTC, ETH, ADA, Chainlink, and also taking some requests to look at some assets. I'll be looking at what the support lines are going to be, what is likely where we might touch should we drop further, and hopefully help you find a little bit of peace in the current situation, and also help you not to react on the current market as I've weathered many drops during my cryptocurrency career since I started in 2015, and at the moment I've got a pretty stoic attitude. I really don't care if my portfolio is going up, I don't know, 50k or more, or going down the same amount, because in the end I've got this vision and this strong belief that we're in something that's pretty revolutionary, and that helps me like tune out the current noise of the market and weather such dips pretty well. I bought some around 500 US dollar and bought more around 1,700 US dollars. So you're probably going to have around, let's say, maybe 900 or 1K average buying price for media. So that's not too bad. But I understand that buying more at 1,700 US dollar definitely sucks. But it's not too bad in my opinion. Norel, French, bought in recently after watching since 2009 wallets back then, scared me. Lost some money, but I'm not freaking out. That's really awesome. Glad you joined the stream, and hopefully with a few tips I can give on the way, you'll be able to sleep safe and sound during this dip and not really be scared. But most people are weathering it pretty well. Mr. R, I'm up 840k with ADA. Well, you're definitely rocking it. That's awesome. And that's also really awesome passive investment, passive income if you're staking it. So I do hope you're staking your ADA, as that's a lot of money that you'd be earning. So that's pretty cool. All right, so let's get this ball rolling. We're up with 10 viewers. So make sure you smash a like. I only see 3 likes. That's like... you have to pay your like tax for this video before I start. And if you also want to listen to some music while I'm talking, I definitely recommend to listen to some Boris Brejcha with Electro Junkie. Unfortunately, I cannot play this during the stream, but like if you play that while listening, that might give you some nice tunes to listen to. Unfortunately, at the moment, I cannot play that. But yeah, let's look at the total market cap and how much we actually dropped. So in one of my last streams, we're talking about the bearish scenario of what could happen and where the cryptocurrency market could drop. We topped out at 1.71 trillion US dollars, which is actually fantastic. And now we had a bit of a dip. So the cryptocurrency market actually dropped around 23% during the last week, with most of it like split over a few days with a few drops here and there. A few coins have been weathering this drop pretty well. Cardano is one of them. The ADA token has actually increased quite a bit, even though other coins were dropping like flies. And yeah, Theo Defa, do you have any new info on Whiteheart? I know that the audit has been postponed. The price actually dropped quite a bit, but me personally, I'm pretty bullish on it still. It's definitely a super risky investment because the platform has not been released yet. But yeah, I bought some more today, and yeah, I'm hoping that sometime during March it will be released. I've been a big fan of Molly Wintermuth, the Hedgehog developer, so I'm pretty sure she's working really hard on it. But the issue at the moment is that the audit was postponed because they're not completely finished. And me personally, I think that's one of the most important parts, because Hedgehog was like hacked. I think two times, one time with a bug, one time with that. So they definitely hope that something like this does not happen. So they should take as much time as possible for the smart contract audit and also economical audit. So yeah, that's the short update on the Whiteheart. But let's get back to the charts. So in my opinion, if we look at the daily, we just barely touched. We actually haven't touched this bottom support line at 1.25 trillion US dollars. So I believe it's possible that we either touch this bottom red line like briefly, which would mean that the cryptocurrency market might even drop in the next few days another 5%. Now, it doesn't mean that every coin is just going to drop 5%. Some coins are going to drop more, some coins are going to drop less. But I do expect that we would touch this support line, as this is based on the Ichimoku cloud. It paints the support lines based on past price action. That's all you have to know about that. And if we bounce off of that, that would be fantastic. So what I would like to see is the candle maybe touch it, maybe go slightly below, but I want it to close above this red line, which is 1.25 trillion, and have a few candles maybe move sideways, definitely above this 1.25 trillion US dollar line. And then after, in a few weeks, what we'll probably see is like this here, moving sideways for a bit, and then we will retest this support which moved up at 1.52. So it's possible that now with this move down, we'll probably move something like this and then retest this 1.7 trillion US dollar support. And I think it's very important to look at the complete cryptocurrency market cap, as that is a good indication of where different coins are going to go, especially Bitcoin, as that's one of the biggest like cryptocurrencies within the whole cryptocurrency market cap. Now, what would happen if we would break down below this support line, 1.52 trillion US dollars? Then the situation is a bit more bleak, and that would mean that we would actually go probably all the way down here and maybe retest either the 1 trillion US dollar support line, and that is like our last line of defense, and then we'll probably go into like this blue cloud, and that's not that great on the daily. But lo and behold, let's wait and see what actually happens if we bounce off of this red. So basically, I'm actually looking at this red line, but I won't be actually taking any action, because me personally, I only sell on the way up. I don't sell on the way down. That's the way that I actually invest. And I also do mostly long-term investing. I don't try and time the market. This is mostly just to have a bit of an impression on where the price is actually going to go. So let's have a look at BTC USD, how it's been weathering and where the support lines are for BTC USD. So let's have a look on the weekly. The weekly actually is pretty indicative that we will probably drop even lower. So it does look like it's possible that we come and touch this blue line, which would be at 34,000 US dollars in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Now, it is definitely not a certainty, but what actually very often happens is when the price moves pretty far away from the blue and the red line, the blue and the red line actually act like a magnet and draw the price to it. So the first line of defense for the short term for BTC USD is 33,000 US dollars. So it's possible that we go there, even though there are a few support lines between there, and it really depends on the daily time frame if we manage to actually hold those other support lines. But let's keep the 34,000 US dollar level in mind. So let's go over to the daily time frame. And yeah, in the daily time frame, we've got actually these two good support lines. The first one we broke down below. This I already mentioned in one of my last live streams. And now we're actually tackling the second support line, and we haven't broken underneath it. So this is pretty good. I'm really happy about that. And it really depends on where this candle is going to close and where the daily candles during this week are going to close. So hopefully we remain between these two lines, the 42,000 US dollar level and the 50,000 US dollar level. So if we actually have a green candle between those two, then we're probably going to go higher and maybe trade sideways. But like I mentioned before, on the weekly, it does look like it's possible that we go towards this 34,000 US dollar line. And the reason why I think it's more likely that we actually stay at 41, 42 US dollar, 1,000 US dollar is because of this previous peak and I definitely don't think that we're going to go below this. If we go below this, then it's possible that we might, in the slightly longer term, maybe next 2 months, 3 months, that will be a bit in a bearish phase for BTC USD. But as long as we remain above this previous peak at 41,000 US dollars, then it's possible that we continue a rally upwards. So that's basically it for BTC USD. In the short term, it looks a bit bearish, but it also depends on if we actually break below 42,000. So I think we have to keep this area here, keep an eye on it, and let's see if we actually break below it. So I think the reason why I'm showing you these support lines is especially if you want to start accumulating more. I think during these levels, 42,000 to 34,000 are pretty good levels that you might keep an eye on to accumulate if you want to do that. But in my opinion, I think this is just a situation. If you're hodling, then I just recommend to maybe don't look at the charts at all and think of it long term. I mean, in the end, you don't really have that much other things that you can do with your money. I mean, you cannot really keep it on the bank, and a lot of institutions are massively accumulating BTC, ETH, and other cryptocurrencies. So I think you should follow what smart money is doing and just keep it somewhere safe, and don't really focus too much on the daily price action. Now I know I'm making these videos, hopefully bringing some calmness in this stormy weather that the cryptocurrency space is facing, but yeah. No real French. If I have to hold for a decade, so be it. I mean, like, if you look at it like that, a decade is not really that long of a time. And that, in my opinion, I think if you hodl and you don't really think about this, the small waves that the different assets are doing, then it's fine. And I think you actually be profitable in less than a decade. Danny Rover, hey, what's your thoughts on strategy? If it isn't bullish, I'm going to sell for BTC. I don't really have any strategy. I can't really tell you that. The thing is that you have to keep in mind is that a lot of the altcoins are very highly correlated with BTC. So if BTC drops, altcoins are going to drop even further. So if we look at CoinGecko right now, and we look at how other coins are performing, so you've got on the 24-hour time frame, you've got BTC is down 7.6%. ETH is pretty badly hit with 9.9%. Cardano is down 11%, but this is actually not too bad because it's still up 10% on the weekly. I mean, it had quite a bit of a push because of the Mary upgrade that's happening on Monday. Polkadot minus 6.7%, but a pretty bad 7-day weekly, the same as with ETH with minus 30% on the week. That's pretty bad. Litecoin minus 30%. So as you can see, compared to BTC, a lot of the altcoins are actually performing really bad during this dip, and that's normal because of the way that money flows through the market. So when at the beginning, when Bitcoin is moving upwards and people are going to sell the altcoins to enter into BTC, when BTC is moving sideways, that's very often when people start getting bored due to the inaction that is happening with BTC, and they want to like increase their funds there. They want to have a lot more profit, and that's when they go into altcoins, and that's when the altcoin season starts. But when Bitcoin starts to drop, people actually start moving out of their altcoins into BTC, maybe to buy the dip and so on. So that's possibly why all of the altcoins are also performing really bad. But yeah, it's quite interesting. Not all of them. I mean, Cardano, due to the pretty strong fundamentals that are happening in February and also in March, it's actually been weathering the storm pretty well. So we'll be looking at the Cardano chart in a bit. Vince, I might look at Cardstack later on. Let's see if I've got time for that. Mostly we're looking at the charts today, not doing too many project reviews. Vincent Tai, how you think Cardano is looking right now? I will look at it right in a second. Kevin Svensson said that most people won't get rich in the bull market because they are too afraid on days like this, and they sell low and then FOMO in losing money. Exactly. Gunther, you're completely correct, and I say the same thing. I mean, time in the market always beats timing the market. I've got a video coming up with 10 tips on how to navigate the cryptocurrency space, and one of them is, of course, try and keep your emotions out of cryptocurrency investing, because otherwise you get wrecked. You sell because you believe your money is just, or your assets are going to lose money, and you might have invested way too much and you really don't like losing money. I mean, most people don't like losing money, and they only realize that after they enter the space. They only chase the green candles, but then when the red candles come, they run away with their tail between their legs. And I think that's something that you have to start learning. It's quite interesting. The most profitable long-term investors are those that actually forget completely about cryptocurrency, those that have no clue. They don't really look at the charts. But those that are too focused on the charts, those that are too focused emotionally and they're attached emotionally to the different projects, then those, they get wrecked because they just start selling it when they've got a red day, and very often they manage to time the bottom perfectly when they sell. So let's have a look at ETH USD. How has it actually been weathering? And I think at the moment it's looking a little bit bleak on the very short term, and that's because it broke below the this red support line of $1,407. So in one of the last streams, I was saying that it should actually hold this upwards trend line, but unfortunately it didn't manage to hold that. So what that means is we've got actually now two other lines of defense that I definitely hope that ETH is going to be able to hold, and that is this 1,200 and the 1,200 US dollar level. So if we look at the weekly time frame, that is actually the long-term actually price action and a chart for ETH. And here it actually looks like we're going to touch this blue line, which is 1,200 US dollar level. So if we actually manage to hold that, then it's actually still everything's good. It just looks really bad on the daily. But the daily is like, you have to look at it like this. It's like the waves in the ocean. And if you look at the ocean from really far away, the ocean looks really flat. But if you focus on your little boat in the ocean and it's moving up and down, then it definitely does get scary. So I think that's maybe one analogy that you have to keep in mind. Always zoom out and look at things from far away, then it gets way less scary. Vincent Tai, I would also like to appreciate to say I appreciate your videos and giving the heads up. Really appreciate that. Thanks a lot for the feedback and the support. Well, Gunther, with ETH, we are just back to end of January. This is how your mind tricks you. Exactly. If you actually look at it from really back, we're not really that bad, to be honest. I mean, if you look at it from the beginning of the year, we're still up a pretty high amount. So if we look at it back in January we're maybe at $982. So we're still pretty high since back then. I think this is going to probably be a red week, maybe followed by a slightly green week, and then we'll probably go back head up. So I think these corrections are really, really good for the market. I've got a pretty good video coming up talking about some very bullish fundamentals coming for the Ethereum blockchain in March until June. So they're really great stuff, reducing the fees and increasing our scalability. So I'm pretty sure you'll find that valuable. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, or don't subscribe if you don't like money. I don't give financial advice, but what I try and do is I help you think for yourself in the market and not to be led with your emotions, because I've made so many really important, or like I've learned a lot of really important things during my time in the cryptocurrency space, and I want to share that with you guys so that you actually make the best possible return. You can retire early if that's your thing, earn passive income if that's your thing, and so on. So I really try and give you the information that you need to maybe make the best possible decisions, and hopefully also manage your emotions a lot better. So let's answer some questions. VChain, ADA on its own run. Yes, we'll look at ADA right in a bit. I think it's on its own run. It's decoupled a bit from BTC and ETH, and it's doing its own thing. And that's why technical analysis doesn't always work. And I just use it a little bit as a crutch just to see how the market is at the moment. But in the end, fundamentals always win. Fundamentals are the best for any project, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons why it's important that you do your own research, you read about the different projects, you understand why this project exists, what kind of pain points it's trying to solve. Like, what is Ethereum actually trying to solve? It's trying to solve the problem that people cannot access a financial ecosystem without third parties exploiting them. It will hopefully allow people to do a lot more with their money in the future thanks to the decentralized financial space. And it will also allow people to participate in a global economy without their corrupt governments and their fiat currencies that are suffering from hyperinflation to dictate how they will spend the rest of their lives. So with those strong fundamentals, me personally, I'm really not scared with these little dips, especially if you zoom out. Like with the ocean, you go back, it's all flat. Yeah. Anthony Van Toon, hello, I joined just 20 minutes too late. I see. No worries, no worries. I'm actually doing quite a lot of analysis still, so you're not too late. ETH gas fee will kill it, if not version 2.0 soon. I think that's a bit of a misunderstanding here. I don't think version 2.0 is going to be the biggest relief. It's the layer 2 solution, especially with optimism. The DeFi apps are going to move to layer 2 solutions, and they're going to interact with each other on layer 2, and that's going to actually solve the scalability solutions. Ethereum 2.0 on its own is not exactly a scalability solution. It's part of it, but it's not like the layer 1 of the Ethereum 2.0 doesn't actually offer any scalability, but the layer 2 on top of the beacon chain will actually offer this scalability as well as the shards. So that means the chains running in parallel to the beacon chain. I know that might sound a bit complicated, but I've got another video that's coming out that explains that more in depth. Lesson Richard, excellent content again. Thanks. Really appreciate the support. You think we'll trade sideways for weeks, less or more? Yeah, I think it's possible we'll be trading sideways for a bit. This is like an accumulation phase where people that actually want to exit the market, they sell the position. People that want to enter the market, they come back into the market. And yeah, it's something that's really important for the space. The more we actually start moving sideways at these price levels, the more secure these price levels become, and the less likely it is that we'll drop lower. VChain vet, many will move on to Cardano, I guess. I think it's definitely a question of time. Cardano definitely has to now nail these upgrades. Cardano has to actually start having DeFi apps on their blockchain. I'm really bullish on it, but there's still a lot of upgrades that have to happen, and they have to prove themselves in the space. Yeah, and only then will they take the market share of Ethereum. But there's still a lot of time. Ethereum 2.0 will come probably in 1.5 years at the earliest, and Cardano and other third generation blockchains have until then to get their game face on and show what they can do in the DeFi space. So I'm bullish on Cardano, but they still have to prove themselves. It's like that. I'm not a maxi of any coin. I really like many different cryptocurrencies, many different projects, and so on. But I think until I can use it, there's always like not a doubt. Like I don't really have doubt. I've looked at the code and stuff like that, but until I can use it, I'm going to be like 100% like confirmed that it's going to be like really massive. I'm still waiting for that. Andrew Hoxie, wait for ETH to go up before you trade. Yeah, definitely wait for a candle confirmation above here. So a green candle is what I'm looking for above this blue line, above $1,200 US. So if we get a weekly candle close above, which is green, that's definitely a good sign. Another good sign would be, of course, a green daily candle, but that's not a confirmation enough. What would also be nice after one or two confirmations here, candle close above 1,200, 2,400 US, is here on the MACD having a cross. So at the moment, the MACD is in the red. So as soon as we see like one bar blue above this line, then that's also a good indication that we'll stop trading sideways and start moving slightly above, and then hopefully then retest this resistance of 1,800 US. All right, let's look at Cardano price. So Cardano has, like a few of the subscribers have stated, broken away from the correlation with BTC. So I'm pretty impressed with the price increase. Really happy about that. I think it actually even broke my price prediction that I made at the beginning of the year. So I'm really happy with the price increase. A lot of people have discovered the Cardano project with it, which I think is great. But of course, with such a massive price increase that we experience, a bit of a correction is something that is to be expected. So let's look at ADA UST on Binance. Let's first look at the weekly. The weekly looks just like bazookas, like really, really crazy. And we are actually nearly parabolic, but it's not too bad, not too bad. So this is really good. I'm happy about that. I should have bought way more Cardano back in at the beginning of January, but I cannot complain. Like I've got around 65% at the moment of my portfolio is of Cardano, thanks to the massive rally that it had, and I'm really like the staking at the moment. And also starting on Monday, you're gonna have native assets on the Cardano blockchain. I think this is pretty interesting because it's a bit of a frustration of mine on the Ethereum blockchain, is that in order to send USDC or other ERC20 tokens, I have to have this ETH in my wallet because it acts as gas. So without this ETH, I cannot send ERC20 tokens. But on Cardano, starting on Monday, you've got these native assets which are not based on smart contracts, and those will allow you to send maybe stable coins. You've got, I think something like RUSD or HUSD, I think it's called. You've also got NFT items, and those will be sent using a portion of that asset, and you don't need ADA to send it. And I think that's great because, for example, I can send to my grandma some stable coins or some ERC20, some Cardano native assets, and she can actually send them to someone else. She doesn't have to buy like Cardano and make the whole process more complicated. So I think that's pretty cool. And then yeah, you've in Q2 you've got the smart contract update. So I'm also looking forward to that. So let's have a look on the daily. And on the daily, it's actually looking pretty good. Most of the other cryptocurrencies I've looked at, so BTC, ETH, and so on, they're either trading below the blue line or even actually below the red line. So it means that they've had a pretty strong correction. So actually, Cardano hasn't had such a strong correction yet. It's possible that the correction still has to happen. And so that would possibly be a good opportunity if you still want to accumulate at maybe the $1 level or even sub $1 level. So what you can actually do is maybe if you want to be a bit more risky, you can place some buy orders at $1 And you can also place some buy orders between this $1 level and 81 cents level, as it's possible that we retest this blue level, as that has happened numerous times in the past. So here you've got that here, 86 cents. You've also had that back in February at around 34 cents, or here in January 21 at 29 cents. So these lines here are pretty useful to find support lines where you can actually put a buy order, a limit buy order on Binance and so on. So I definitely hope that we stay above the blue line, but a touch to the blue line might definitely be healthy, and moving sideways is always healthy for an asset. Stephen Meyer, how far can ADA fall is not the right question. How far can ADA climb until the end of this year? I think the reason why I talk about the correction is because some people get freaked out. And I think it's really important to share with people that assets don't always go up; they always go down. They also go down a bit, but these corrections are actually really healthy for the continuous price increase in the long term of the asset. And then here, in my opinion, ADA could actually go between $5 and $10 until the end of the year. I think a $5 is definitely like a realistic price prediction until the end of the year, but it's definitely tied to if Cardano manages to implement all of the updates that they've said without any delays. So what I'm looking forward is no hiccups with Mary on Monday with the native assets. And I think I want to actually see a price increase that is not due to is not due to just price speculation. I want it to be because of the increase in usability. That's really, really important. And that's the reason why Ethereum, like ETH, has increased so much, is because people are using the DeFi space. And that's really important. And at the moment, the main reason for the increase is mostly speculation. Yeah. So price prediction of AVA, I said that now till night. I don't really do short-term price predictions, as that's really basically a guessing game and not based on fundamentals. I mean, the markets move all the time. It's very difficult to do that. Harmony is going to take off. I actually looked at Harmony a while ago, but to me, it's yeah. I'm actually just looking at the moment at the price of some top ones that I'm following. Harmony I don't really have on my radar at the moment. I was kind of scared off back in February. So yeah, let's see how they perform. There are many different competitors to Ethereum. Yeah. Do you think Elon Musk will buy ADA? It's interesting. I'm not sure 100%, but let's quickly look at the current. Let's have a look at his profile. Okay, he changed it, but he actually had at some point a profile picture. Elon Musk profile picture fork. Yeah, that's the one here. And I think this is pretty cool. He actually changed at some point his profile picture to this meta fork. And that's basically an analogy that he might be buying Cardano, because that's how they actually call it, this fork in the road, which is an indication of the Mary upgrade. So yeah. So yeah, that was it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any other questions, definitely let me know in the comments below, but I'll be actually closing the stream right now. If you've got questions, definitely hit me up. if you haven't already subscribed, then definitely subscribe, because yeah, subscribe. 24 billion USDT was traded last 24 hours in ADA, above 1.15, so under $1 again. I think the one thing, yeah, you shouldn't confuse with this trading volume. 24 billion USDT was traded last 24 hours. Are you sure that's not the how's it called, the inflated? Because I think Cardano uses something like, it's called UTX, like a advanced UTXO. That means the some of the transactions are counted twice. So yeah, let's see on Messari.io. Let's have a look at Cardano. $1.25 at the moment, -7. So let's have a quick look at the metrics. Yeah. Transaction volume, 24 hours USD, 9 billion US dollars. That's the amount. I think the 24 billion USDT, do you know what exchange that was? Yeah. Albert, how is it possible that ADA or ETH can grow plus 300 to 400% to the end of the year if it's just dropping since a week? You have to look at the big picture. I mean, it's not really dropped that much. And if you look at it since the beginning of the year, it actually increased by an incredibly amount. So yeah, I think the fundamentals can push it a lot higher. And you just have to realize that markets go up and down. They don't always go up. But yeah, you cannot actually benefit from 400, 500, 600% returns without having to stomach some 20, 30, 40% dips along the way. That's the way that the cryptocurrency market works. It goes up like a rocket but falls like a stone during some periods of time. And yeah, that's just the name of the game. You're going to have to be able to stomach that. Otherwise, maybe think about investing in stocks or commodities or something else. It's definitely a volatile space and you have to get used to it and deal with the emotions. Otherwise, it's not the game for you. Stefan Meyer, what is the name of the page on which you can see which countries are currently buying coins in real time? I don't know. I don't know which page you can actually see that. Yeah, where you can buy it in real time. And I mean, what I look at, maybe if you look at Binance, you can see what kind of trades are actually happening. But what you can also do is use TradingView. This is definitely one of the best ones to use just to look at charts. And the really cool thing with TradingView is if you actually go on TradingView, you can select here what kind of pair you want to look at. So for example, you do ETH USD and then you select one and you can actually see some why is it not working? Yeah, you can actually look at some really cool inputs from the community, and they give like not trading advice, but trading suggestions, and it helps you also learn a little bit more about trading. And when you learn a little bit more about trading, it also helps you manage your emotions in the space. You'll have to share that map. I don't really know which map you're talking about. I don't know a map that actually shows which countries are currently buying coins in real time. But I think it would be pretty cool. Bank Chamber, what usually happens after mainnet launch to a token? It really depends on how hyped this mainnet launch is. If it's like a super hyped one, then very often the token drops in price because people are like buy the rumor, sell the news. If the mainnet launch actually adds a lot more functionality, then it's possible that the price goes up or moves sideways for a bit. It really depends on what side it's on. Really, really awesome that you managed to tune in. All right, so that was it for this video. Enjoy your evening. I'm going to grab something to eat, and I'll catch you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.